I'm not sure what this composition can really accomplish from Beyond Gaming. I feel like it takes a while to ramp up. It doesn't have that strong of a late game because of the Seraphine and the Lee Sin. And for CFO, it's just so much easier to execute. You have a strong mid lane, you have your strong top lane, you control terrain extremely well. And realistically, what can the enemy do? The enemy has to use Husha and Husha alone to somehow find an insane Dragon's Rage to get people out of position.
Well, Husha has been the man with the plan and does make the big plays early game for Beyond Gaming. Maybe this will be one of them. Maybe Mega Bank Beyond Gaming will surprise us. They do come in as the underdogs here on a 2-game losing streak. But for CFO, simplicity is the key, especially when Shun's in the lineup. This is how they found success when they first slotted him in at the end of the spring split.
He came in and he went on, I believe, a 6-game win streak. It's incredibly dominant. And for those of you that might not have a strong memory of Shun, he played a lot of Xayah. He started winning his lane, especially noteworthy against Unified and Kaiwing, both in the regular season and in the playoff. That really caught all of our attention. And I think we had him hyped up as probably the best rookie of the spring split. Very surprised that they started Atlan there. You know, maybe it's a synergy thing, maybe it's chemistry. We don't really know. But we're happy Shun's back here. I feel like with Shun, he passes the eye test a lot harder. I feel like his team fight potential is just much higher. And
yeah, like
you can play Hyper to go along.
Atlan is not a bad player. Like it's not like a shame to be unfavorably compared to Shun, because I feel like almost every bot laner in the league will be. But Atlan being a known quantity, you know, his ceiling is it's okay. It's consistent. He can play hyper carries, but he needs more time to ramp up, and he's not nearly as deadly in lane. So it really changed the CFO makeup at the genetic level, really, when they slotted Shun in, because all of a sudden you had this star player who was just dominating much more experienced bot lanes, a real prodigy, if you will. And at the same time, yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
When they had Atlan, they were playing just purely topside. You know, they had the strong solo lane, so you always expected them to go there, or they were much easier to read. When they added Shun into the mix and they had that Xayah dominating lane, then they could play through both sides of the map. And that's when teams start to get a lot more dangerous, is when you have a hard time expecting where the jungle is going to be. So, you know, sometimes it's just opening up both side lanes at the same time. The thing isn't really about how much raw power you add, but it's about being unpredictable and adding adaptability to your team.
Yeah, there you go. You got there in the end.
It's really hard.
Okay, Husha's waiting and baiting. I want to talk a little bit more story about that bottom side, but let's see if this works out or if it just ends up being a fizzle. I think that's the answer. Yeah, like, you know, we can go on all day about this, about how, like, you know, it's changed so much. They made some great plays, but at the end of the day, the results speak for themselves. CFO were one game away from being our MSI representative.
They had more wins in both series combined as well.
They
just
did.
To mention that one.
They did. Man, PSG just, I mean, they eked that, you know, like I mean, great play. It was a fantastic finals, and I really love that we're having a team to challenge the reigning kings. But back into this game, we've really been talking a lot about CFO's debut last split, but they have been looking good. Currently, one of our squads sitting at 4-2, looking to add a fifth to that column here in the Battle of the Banks. A storied rivalry, I'd like to say. Two teams, both sponsored by financial institutions.
I feel like CFO has came in with the more bank-like approach with the bank plank in the top side, and
That's
also
true.
winning lanes here.
Who would you rather have handle your money? A pirate or a cave yordle from the dawn of time?
I feel like the pirate would understand the concept of fiat currency a bit better, but at the same time, pirates are not known for having good morale. So it's actually a really hard decision, you know. If the Yordles actually use currency, I'd probably hand it over to the Yordle.
Well, most Yordles would. I don't think Nar's one of them, though, right? Because, yeah, I don't think they'd invented the concept. Well, technically Nar's from the past, right? He's, you know, he's sort of a throwback. But these philosophical questions can wait until out of game, I think, Clement. Into game. Let's talk a little bit about what Hoosh is doing, because right now he's trying to set it for a gank. Unfortunately, on a ward. Actually, just backs.
Did see Husha actually get the bot lane scuttle. It was very close to being a double scuttle position.
Oh, Koala. really trying for the play. I don't think they realized that Gemini was also sitting on a ward. Good coverage by Beyond's bot side. They double invest in that river.
I really like the play from Wako, just instant flash away there. He knows what's coming, knows that the Wukong can be there before they can even spot him due to the invisibility, so he doesn't take any chances there. Great reaction, but overall still a win for CFO. They do get the flash away from the AD carry compared to the support here. And he's just going to get spotted again, which could lead to some trouble here.
I think CFO have done a great job of tracking him so far this game, and that is the strategy, right? You want to try and deny the big Lee Sin plays, and one way you do that, just don't let him go anywhere without you seeing him. 6 gets dinged in the mid lane for both Minji and Mission. Scout of the Week does land. Gemini, yeah, he gets spotted on the edge. Both of these teams, but especially Beyond, have been doing a great job at ward coverage this game.
Yeah, they know where the junglers are on both sides, so they're able to make plays in response to each other. I like what CFO are doing. As I've talked about, I feel like they have a much stronger team fight core when they're set up already, so you always want to be first on the Drake stack. They're getting that done just by the virtue of reacting to Lee Sin going into the top side of the jungle, and they have a stronger bottom lane to boot as well, so should be expected. I feel like CFO can just play around this objective until the end.
Yeah, this is something that's going to allow them to, just start banking up. As you said, a more financial-like approach here.
Oh, boy.
As Husha does join in Minji in the mid, but they can't quite line up the Encore. Unfortunate. I mean, Mission, he knows his job this game. He just needs to play it safe and deny, hold on to that Scout of the Week until somebody's coming in, and he gets an ultimate baited out for free.
We haven't been a huge fan of Syndra in this new patch and in the new split, because the games, at least in other regions, have been going on a little bit longer. Tempo play is harder, bursting people down is harder, so Syndra lost a lot of power. But in this situation, all you need from Mission is just someone to control terrain, someone to place the spear down in a choke point. I think he's doing a great job here. Actually just walks away from Minji. Very surprised that actually worked out, but that's kind of the weakness of Seraphine early on. Is Mission going for the potential kill.
Yeah, not quite. I mean, ever since durability patch, it's a little harder to make that big old pop happen, but not going to worry too much. It does zone Minji away, forces that teleport. Now Likai, ooh, okay, he's should be able to walk out of that one. So CFO, winning out on 2 of those lanes right now. Talking about bot as well, it has a CS lead built up for Shun, but not the kill threat that I think they'd be hoping for. And that's one thing you can get out of a Senna and Kench lane. It's a little hard for you to just straight up get clapped. Husha finds rest. He's got flash if he needs it. There's the kick, and nope, Husha doesn't have the kill threat.
Interesting kick here from Husha. He had no Q to follow up there, so Rest says thank you very much and walks away from the disengage. I guess he just wanted to chunk him down a little bit, get as much damage as possible there, but it seems like kind of messed up his combo coming into this one. So I think CFO are still in a pretty happy position here, and that's the biggest problem with Beyond Gaming's comp is it's just so hard for them to make plays. I don't really see how they can make plays happen on the map whatsoever. They don't have a strong engage potential, and they don't have any automatically winning lanes either, so they can't rely on roaming to make these convergences happen either.
Yeah, it is really odd that that's how the way things have been working out right now. And Beyond, just kind of in their holding pattern at the moment. They try to make a play happen in the mid, it gets completely denied. I think Husha almost just like frustration kicks Rest up top. And now you see Minji, he's kind of stuffed into the wall there. Mission on a chase down. We talk about how his job is to control terrain, play defensive, but it's easy to forget that Mission is one of these players that can take something like a Syndra or even an Orianna and just turn it into a straight up assassin.
We have seen some Syndra assassination from Mission in the past. You get the lake in and you hit your death cap, you can still deal with that quite easily.
Big
scale all that down. Especially with a target like Seraphine, it's not easy to keep this champion alive. But in the meantime, though, Wako finally getting a lot of poke down.
Yeah, that was actually pretty solid. Shun going to be forced a little bit off the farm right now and can really only find poke damage on Akino. Now, Minji on a roam, this is the setup. They're going to bring Husha to the party as well. We saw plenty of 4v2 bot dives last game. This one does get sniffed out, and it's just a result in plates, meaning that CFO are going to answer in kind onto Rift Herald. Solo for Gemini right now. They got to make this worth it, though.
We also have to remember that Cannon Barrage is about to be up from rest, so we don't expect the bot lane push to actually do all that much damage. CFO should be able to retreat and trade this one quite well. They also have Syndra in position to deny Lee Kai. It's going to be a tough time for the Yordle.
All right. Let's see if they go for the instantaneous play. That's 2 plates taken by Beyond Gaming down bottom. They're not going to set this one up yet. Instead, Mission and Gemini are going to handhold down into the mid lane. Let's see if they look to set up a play onto Minji. No, they don't. Okay, taking their time. Slow and methodical. After last game, where it just was a few plays that basically meant the rest of the game wasn't going to matter much, now we are going to be waiting for the big plays, Clement. No first blood at 10.
Hopefully they do come through. We did see some good game sense from Rest. He knows that Lee Kai, it doesn't have vision the entire way to his own tower. So he actually just walks up there and takes a plate as free as that. If you don't see the enemy, you have to assume they're at 2 locations at the same time. So Rest is able to cash in on an extra plate from that one. And you can also see from Beyond Gaming, it forces the bot lane to kind of move towards the top, alleviate that pressure that the Syndra is creating there. So, you know, CFO across the board, they are behind in gold because of that bot lane trade, but the Herald is there, the plates they've taken from the top lane. I still think they are, in my eyes, in a winning position here.
I agree. I think Beyond are going to be the ones that have to make a play. And they are trying. You know, I mean, you could see that Wako moved up. It was a response to the pressure, but I think they were trying to set something up here. There is the second dragon on the Rift. They could cut down on CFO's Drake stacking by taking away this cloud, and they will be able to do it before there's really any reaction. You can see Mission actually looking to cut off the Gnar. Lee Kai, I think, gets away before they react, but this is probably just going to be the Herald play.
That's going to be first tower going down. Lee Kai does have the TP here, but oh, that was a risky TP right in front of the Syndra. Let's see if
they're just going to take the last plate. Mission's back. I think Lee Kai might be feeling himself just a little bit, but not quite that aggressive. So Herald does secure a number of plates, but not the full first tower.
Good response there coming in from Minji and Husha just to whisk away Mission, and some interesting lane maneuvers coming in here. It's actually going to be a Mission holding in the top lane. Now we have gameplay with Triforce in the mid lane. Now, we've actually seen this before coming in from Xiaohu at MSI. Just running with the Syndra top lane. You got wave clear, and you're not going to die to a gank. It does work out for you. He's able to take the first tower. And honestly, not a whole lot Seraphine can do to pressure a GP in lane. You can't just orange away from the crowd control as well.
Yeah, that's actually pretty huge. I do love the adaptation to like shift the gangplank around, because he's one of those champions that just... The oranges are just so good against so many different threats in the game, and Mission becomes such a huge threat against Lee Kai, especially in Mini-Gnar. Shun basically just getting some free farm off. Like, sure, it's not going to be like the big explosive pop-off reset heavy game, but I think they knew that when they drafted Aphelios in the first rotation.
I gotta say, this rotation is so beautiful from CFO. Look at Mission. He also gets his first mythic item just off the first tower as well. So, a lot of good calculations going into this one, giving them a big power spike. They can go down to bot lane now, and Lee Kai without TP is going to get stuck into top, while they can just force down this bottom lane with the help of Cannon Barrage.
Yeah, might be a good dive coming. This is going to be spotted, though. Good ward coverage by the side of Beyond Game. The question is, do they still get away? As they will get the root off onto Gemini, but now the alarm bells have to be ringing. Wako and Kino need to run for the hills as Shun and Koala are wrecking the minions. They're going to be calling for help. It's Husha Minji. I think we might be in for a 4v4 if they want to take it, but no. The back away. CFO have done the calculations, making the risk-averse play. Their portfolio is safe, Clement.
Yeah, they don't see the Gnar anymore in lane, and they also are just looking for a potential for a two-man game with the Gemini and Syndra combo. Kino goes in.
Yeah, he does. Gets denied, though. Good handshake from Koala. Beyond Gaming can't quite find an opener. And we just see the flow back and forth. It's a 500s gold lead there for CFO, but the game very close. Still no first blood. Kind of feels like night and day from the first couple of games, doesn't it?
Our first 3 games were so quick. There was a lot of action going on. The 7-9 one actually was the closest one. To give them credit right there. It's been an
yeah, you heard that right if you're just tuning in today. Sem 9 came so close to a win. Sorry for the spoiler, but wow. I'm still buzzed about that, man. I think this team really has a chance. And not just to get a win, but I think even to try and propel themselves up into, 8th, maybe 7th place? Probably 8th.
Oh boy, 7th is
we'll see.
7th is kind of a stretch.
Dude, I got that game gave me some serious opium. I'm just saying.
All right. We'll see.
Caspiel bot, let's go.
Yeah, I'm just so happy to see Caspiel actually back here. This is someone that's been representing for Malaysia for such a long time. He's been with the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, and finally getting his due on the new 719. Talking about this game though, CFO are in position here. Very strong stranglehold on this ramp. I don't see how Beyond Gaming can go through. Like, they need to wait for Lee Kai to get a Mega Narbar, but right now he's just joining the team. He's also sharing the wave with other people. It's going to be hard for him to maneuver, but actually CFO kind of give up on the positioning here.
They do a little inside track gained by Beyond Gaming, and you're talking about Mythic starting to be picked up by the CFO side. Same starting to be matched on Beyond Gaming. You see the Crown of the Shattered Queen on Minji's hands as Busha goes in, finds Mission, gets the kickback. That's the value they're looking for. It's straight into the encore, and they will secure first blood and second too. Koala on the run, but nowhere for him to go as he tries to flash. Followed by Husha. Track the bailout will not be enough. It's a clean 3 for Mega Bank Beyond Gaming.
I was talking about the difficulty of execution, but apparently to Beyond Gaming and their synergy, that ain't a thing. That ain't a thing at all. Beyond Gaming makes such a beautiful play work.
I go diving for that one. Rest is going to be able to flash away Wako a little low, playing dangerously, and swallowed up. No risk there, as they do have extra health, shields, and everything for the Senna. And they'll try to double up a little bit. Instead of going for the Dragon, in fact, they go for Herald.
Yeah, Herald earlier on, I think this one is definitely the more important of the 2 objectives here. I just want to see a replay of that. Husha made that one work so beautiful. And you have to remember that Husha and Ninja actually have the worst 2v2 composition. Like CFO, Mission, and Wukong, they have the higher burst potential here, but Husha is able to make it work. You gotta watch this one again. Husha gets Mission first, kick back into the Seraphine ultimate, catches Wukong just off of the flash, and just as Mission is about to get out of crowd control, the extra range on the Encore attacks him again, gets him into CC. He doesn't even get his ultimate off before just dropping. I'm flabbergasted at how well that went for Beyond.
Yeah, that was the perfect setup, the perfect execution. Husha needed it, and he got it. Massive there. Not only that, like lining up the Encore for Minji at the best angle. Wako even getting the ultimate off to add that extra bit there. They'll get a second charge on Shelia. This is huge for Beyond Gaming, as they can look to take a gold lead in this one. They've already got it about 1,000, and they will keep adding. Sure, the Dragon goes the way of CFO. It's an Ocean Soul, this game. It's not going to mean quite as much.
And the way this changes the dynamics here is Senna is getting really fed. 2-0-1. She's been able to farm away. She's gotten towers, and that means extra stacks. Extra stacks equals extra range, and Beyond Gaming might not need to walk into setups from CFO. If they have the range enough, they can easily dodge away from the barrels. It makes life a lot easier. You can also just clear the barrels with Senna Qs going into terrain. So I feel like just with how accelerated Wako has become, it could mean that CFO's turtle strategy and objectives isn't as useful anymore.
Yeah, I think CFO are going to have to adjust a little bit. This is a team that, trusted that they had a simpler execution, that they would be able to outmuscle, outplay, control. They did so well for so long. They give up 3 kills into objectives. A lining up of a Seraphine ultimate only catches Shun, but he cleanses out of it before any damage can be dealt. All the same, Beyond Gaming, they're playing with some swagger here, Clement. Trying to muscle through mid. They can't quite set the siege, though.
There's still a lot of ways that we could see CFO counter-engage here. They see the Seraphine ultimate is off. We could see Koala just simply flash hostile takeover, and the Gemini definitely looking for a flank angle to dislodge the siege here. So a lot of back and forth here. Vision on the left side of the mid lane is going to be of utmost importance. Also, Mission no longer has his flash, so he could be a target here.
Cannon Barrage just come through. All right, you see Kino for a second. It looks like he was swallowing up Usha. That's just going to be the end of it. But they did need the Gangplank ultimate to stop that push. And you're right, you really have to respect the hostile takeover from Koala. It does get expended in that instance. Just to deny, but they're right back on the siege. Beyond are unperturbed. Might back away now. There we go. The barrel chains are something you got to watch for. And they're just going to send Lee Kai down bot to try and shove. This Gnar did get out of lane pretty well because he didn't have to face a Gangplank the whole time.
Yeah, able to swap away. Still down 40 CS quite a bit here, but he's going to be able to farm up quite well. And I think you can see Beyond Gaming's game plan start to open up. They're just sieging around Wako. They have plenty of protection around him. And it's going to be CFO that's going to need to walk into Beyond Gaming in these situations. I feel like if I'm CFO, the way I want to play the game is try to avoid... Oh, Siege is much more.
Yeah, try to avoid the damage. Good Scout of the Week for Mission after he flashes away. Stutter stepping, dodging almost everything as he unleashes the power into Minji. Oh, man, Mission.
That was dirty.
Does not die.
What was that geometry coming in from Mission? My god. He actually flashes to get the angle on Scatter the Weak, tags both targets, and then just swivels around left and right, dodges the Encore, plus the Sonic Wave. That was, oh boy, that was a treat to watch.
Get this man a Bel'Koz is all I'm saying, if he can do geometry like that. Gemini now coming in, does find the knockup onto Wako. They wanted to set this play here, the second cast, and not quite enough there to make it happen. Here's the bailout for Gemini, but he knows he's a dead man. Nothing he can do off of that. And now Rest is going to be caught as well. Does have a flash. Will finally use it into the Cannon Barrage, trying for the bait for the Gnar. Into the wall. They don't have the follow-through. Husha couldn't find the angle on the Sonic Wave, but they're not done just yet. Dive in. Abyssal dive from Kino. Blast Cone taken. That's the end of it. What a chase down.
CFO going a little bit too deep here. I can sense some of the desperation happening. They go for the most important target, Wako, but he has plenty of heals and shields around him. Also does have that Abyssal dive when he needs it, so able to walk away. And unfortunately, I feel like CFO pulled the trigger a little too early. Gemini especially going in deep. No one to follow up there. They lose their front line. It's
going to be Ocean Dragon going away Beyond Gaming. Will be tied up at 2-2, so Soul will be very late this game if it happens at all. And yeah, the priority choice on Wako. You know, we've been talking up Shun. I do want to talk about how Wako is a fantastic bot laner in his own right, stepping into the shoes that Doggo left behind, but Rest is on a run, realizes this is a horror story, and he's one of the protagonists. Lee Kai trying to step away from the barrels, but they're chasing him the wrong way. I feel like this is a matter of time. If he gets out, it's a miracle.
I have to say, they better use the 3-man. They better commit. I feel like Rest is going to waste so much time.
Oh, wow. If he gets a 1v3. Nope. There we go. Stomped on. CFO thought, can we Baron? Can we Baron? No, we can't Baron.
Actually forces the teleport. That's still pretty cool from Rest. I'm not going to lie.
I'll take it.
Gets the double barrel chain down onto the target. If it wasn't for the Lee Sin, there's a bit of a chance he could actually finish the 1v3.
Mission. We just praised him. Is he gonna? Okay, he's teleporting. He's getting out. Oh man. Wow. Shouldn't have been there, but that was sweet.
Say what you want about CFO's game so far, they are masters of the escape. Like, they can just drag things out indefinitely and just ping-pong people across the board. This is something I feel like CFO has gotten better at progressively as they've played more with Rest. Kind of got used to the BM style, the style of just taking the 1v4, accepting your mortality, but getting something back in return.
Yes, Rest will always get something out of it, if not just a hearty chuckle. I do like that he throws down the emotes, whether it's just to call attention to what's happening, or just for the actual BM factor. The BM king of the PCS. He's never really changed, and I think that's a good thing.
For sure here, and as we go later into the game, I feel like we are going to see a couple of dynamics change right here. first thing is because of how fed Husha is, he's going to be able to get into the backline, and I feel like Aphelios and Syndra are now under threat of just being kicked back. We've seen the mechanics from Husha already. We know the execution is definitely there. So the way CFO have to play this, I think is going to get even more complicated. It almost feels like they need to be able to target Husha at the start of the fight and not let him get too much time. He is incredibly tanky at this point. If he gets into the back line, he core drinkers, you're not going to be able to dislodge him before he gets to the back.
Might have the turntables. It seems like CFO have got the harder homework assignment coming through. Beyond Gaming definitely holding on to control of this side of the Baron pit. And not only that, the CFO, you know, they can't really count on Dragon stacking at the moment. It's been cut into it pretty indefinitely and so specific, such a hard to execute setup, but they've done it multiple times now, and Husha is a big part of why. Like, we doubted when we saw the Wukong given away and the Lee Sin lock, but clearly Beyond Gaming trusted their mechanics, and Husha is just such a fantastic jungler. Gotta give this man credit.
Absolutely.
Chase is on. Backing away. That's gonna be it.
I still think it's a little bit difficult for Husha to make this work by himself. I'm really expecting the stasis to come in soon. I feel like an early GA is not a bad idea if you're the sole stable engage on the side of Beyond Gaming for him. And on the other end, if we look at CFO now, they can't really afford to fight without Rest. Rest is the majority of their gold investment and indeed their gold lead, actually. So whenever you don't see Rest on the same side of the map, I feel like they're going to play pretty far backwards. The engage can happen much faster than the teleport can come through.
And that's troubling when, you know, when you're the gangplank, a lot of the time you want to be on the side lane just drawing pressure, right? But the issue is if CFO aren't able to, like, do anything with that or try and threaten and force a reaction pulling Beyond apart, well, that doesn't really do as much. So as a gangplank, you're kind of forced into that role where you're like, oh, I really want to go on a side lane, but I got to stick with the team. And now Dragon going to be under threat when it hits the rift in 30 seconds. Setup is good from Beyond Gaming, and they're setting up death brushes as well. CFO know this. They know what's going on, but they don't really have a lot of good choices.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time forcing themselves into any of these positions. We do find some great poke coming in from Xun, but the healing is there for the composition. Let's see if Gemini can find something.
Narbar's so close for Husha right now. CFO do not want to go into that. Good control around, excuse me, not Husha. The Lee Kai is the word I was looking for there. CFO, they may have found an opener, but Lee Kai is still there. Stun up, exhaust on. They find Mission, forcing the flash out. Here we go. They do manage to find at least one big Gnar from Lee Kai, and that could be the setup into the cannon barrage. But look at all the damage they're dishing. That forces back CFO, and hostile takeover doesn't do nearly enough. I think CFO have to cede this Dragon over.
Oh boy, that was a very close call for CFO, and Rest really pulled off some heroics right there. Able to distract Wako on the right side, put down the cannon barrage to stop the main engage. That could have gone a lot worse for CFO, honestly. I love the idea of Beyond Gaming just tagging Mission, knowing that the Syndra doesn't have an easy time getting away from things. So a great engage there, and CFO barely get away.
Even with hands like Missions, there's only so much you can do, but he does get out. No deaths there. Dragon does get secured.
The triple on the 4, man!
That's what Rest was looking for. Ooh, scatter the weak, and yeah, Beyond definitely scattering here, but now they're going to turn as the damage has already been dealt. Gemini a little bit low on the drive, and boy, this game just keeps on turning on a little bit of a nice edge, Clement. I feel like that decisive fight, it just hasn't happened.
Yeah, Rest with a great reminder of what late game gameplay can do to you, and that was really scary. He was in front of 4 people, and he still managed to get a triple barrel on a quad down. That was some insane mechanics going down there.
Yeah, I said 3.5 item Gangplank. Even picks up the Zeal for good measure. But, oh boy, that is going to be the saving grace. That is going to be the win condition. And you talked about it. Well, it is the bank plank, just stacking it up and getting those items, getting that gold. The later the game goes, it certainly helps for him. On the Beyond side, they found quite the death ball, I think. And, you know, Lee Kai, if he can just kind of roly-poly his way out to the big Gnar, it's a difficult setup, but that has also worked. Husha going to have to find a single priority target. I feel like Shun has been playing incredibly well around positioning, has cleanse available. Not up yet, but he will soon on cooldown. And it does feel like Mission becomes the next prio target. And I feel like at this point, he may want to consider investing in a stopwatch.
Yeah, the Zanios is going to be very critical for Syndra later into the game. I will say, though, this game is really evolving to become a burst match from CFO and sort of a sustained attrition match from Beyond Gaming. Beyond Gaming have the range, they have the healers, they're basically running 3 supports on their team composition, while CFO and Rest especially, he's got the Serpent's Fang, he can cut through the shielding very quickly, and you have Shun with the burst damage AoE. So I feel like this fight is going to come down to an instant. If it's over in 10 seconds, CFO is probably won. If it lasts over that, then you definitely see Beyond Gaming walking away as the winner.
So just in case, don't blink, because it might just be over by then. Now, I will say, Beyond Gaming are paying a lot of respect to the barrels, and you can see the instant turn, the focus. This is something Beyond do very well. Synergy-wise, they are unmatched. When they make a decision, they go in together, and that means a lot here. Gemini Mission almost cut off there. That is going to be the dive in. They find Mission, get the kickback into the side. They can delete him. Hostile takeover, but they're still able to do the damage into Wako's ultimate. That's going to be the spin up for Gemini, but it is not nearly enough, and they lose 2 in the blink of the eye. That's Smite gone. I think this should be the turn for Baron.
I love how Beyond Gaming know that there is blood to be taken as soon as they see Mission use Scatter the Weak onto the Raptors. I really feel like Raptors is not where you want them with ability, especially in the late game. Mission got spotted on a ward, Beyond Gaming rushed towards him, and CFO unable to respond. It's down to Rest now to claw this one back.
Uh-oh. Walla taking a lot of damage. They're actually going to bring Wako, Leakai, everyone joining. And Wako just takes him down on the shot. So even though this is a slow Baron shred, there's nothing really CTBC Flying Oyster can do about it as they limp away. 8 kills to none in favor of Beyond Gaming, not to mention the Baron.
Let's watch how this all started out. Mission goes a little bit too far forward, chances another stun, walks back into this one. And I feel like this is just being awfully greedy for Mission. I felt like he should have just ran away because he has to realize he is the sole target on the team. Everyone else is a lower priority, harder to kill, and he's a Syndra walking around, no stasis, no flash. So I just feel like Mission didn't understand or didn't feel the threat correctly that was coming from Beyond Gaming.
Yeah, and this is starting to look like another one of those games where the Syndra pick's starting to become a liability. Beyond Gaming, I want to give some credit to Minji because, man, this guy knows the exact angles to just nail so many targets on the Encore. Like, this is some great Seraphine play from a player that at the start of the split, we were saying it's Assassins or bust.
We were asking what was the control mage going to be, and it looks like we might have found one. Husha, even though he's low, he does have the GA.
Okay, gonna use it anyway. It's all a bait. Here we go. And again, in the choke point, they find the Encore, and it's looking like an Encore in the last fight as they just shred through the health bars of CFO. Shun, the only man standing, but what can one of Felios do? Never mind, I said Gemini is still in this one, but not for much longer. He does not get a kill, and down he goes. Let's see what Shun can do to save the day. Moonlight Vigil? Oh no, he whiffs it. That's going to be it. I think that's game over.
Yeah, he wanted to find the burst damage, but tags no one. It just whiffs across the goalpost here, and Beyond Gaming are going to pull off a win to break their losing streak. They were 4 wins, 2 losses, and now they find their mojo once again by taking down CFO.
And a deathless game from Megabank Beyond Gaming as